Good morning, all. Today, we discuss the topic applications of Newton's laws. Newton's laws are simple to state, but become meaningful only when you have learned how to use them. Mainly, to solve physical systems, we use Newton's second law. We got an equation from the Newton's second law as F is equal to ma, where F is the force on the system and m is the mass and a is the acceleration. And in this section, we outline a method of analyzing physical problems and to illustrate it by examples. Here are the steps for attacking mechanical problems involving system of small number of masses acted on by simple forces. To discuss the method, here we only using simple systems that is composed of small number of masses and it acted upon by small or simple forces, not complicated forces. The first step is isolate the masses. That means we separate the system, the whole system into different mass points. Consider an example. If you pull or push a table, consider it as a system. Then we know that there is two objects. One is you and the other is table. Then consider the total system as two mass points. one mass point corresponding for U and the other mass point corresponding for the turbine. So the first step is isolate the masses. The next step is draw a force diagram for each mass. Draw a force diagram for each mass. Firstly, we isolated the masses. Then represent what forces acting on that mass. What forces acted upon that mass. So the second step is draw a force diagram for each mass. Here we have to show, or we have to draw only the forces acted upon that particular mass only. Okay. It will be more clear when we discussing examples. And the third step is attach a coordinate system on the force diagram. Or show a coordinate system on the force diagram. It helps us to write the equations according to that particular coordinate systems. The fourth step is write the equations of motion. To analyze a system, we have to write the equations of motion. It is simply we have to write F is equal to ma, where F is the effective force acted on the mass. The effective force, F is the effective force or the total force acted on the mass m, and m is the mass and a is the acceleration of the mass. So the equation of motion is nothing but Newton's second law. And the next step is write the constraint equation. The term constraint, it is unfamiliar to you. By constraint, we mean It is a limiting condition for some motion, or in some cases it opposes the motion, etc. For example, if a simple pendulum is oscillating we know that the length of the pendulum is a constant. That is a constraint, because as that length is fixed, the bob of the pendulum moves in a part of a circular path. Okay. Next, consider that if any insect or an ant moving on the surface of a sphere, an ant or any insect that is moving on the surface of a sphere, it only moves on the surface, so surface of the sphere, then its distance from the center of sphere is a constant. It is also a constraint. Okay, the next step is finally solve the equation of motion with help of the constraint equations. So there are main 6 steps to solve mechanical problems using Newton's laws. I repeating the steps once more. First is isolate the masses. Second is to draw the force diagram for each mass. And the third is show a coordinate system on the force diagram. Fourth is write the equation of motion. Fifth is write the constraint equations. And finally, the last step is to solve the equations of motion with help of the constraint equation. For illustrating this problem, we consider an example of 2 blocks placed on a table. Before that, we discussed these 6 steps some in details. Our first step is isolate the masses. So mentally divide the system into smaller systems, each of which can be treated as point mass. The second step is draw a force diagram for each mass. Represent each mass or each body by a point or a symbol. Let it be A, B, something to identify it and label it. Then draw a force vector on the mass for each force acting on it. Force acting on it, not the force done by it. We represent the force vector on a particular mass, that each force acting on it. Okay, it is the case, draw only the forces acting on the body, not forces exerted by the body. It is important. Then the third step is show a coordinate system on the force diagram. As here we consider the Newton's second law, so the coordinate system must be an inertial one. If it is non-inertial, the Newton's law is not valid there. So the frame must be fixed to an inertial frame. And take the axis along a convenient direction. It may be along the assumed direction of motion or along the applied force. And the fourth step is write the equations of motions. By equation of motion, we mean an equation of the form Newton's second law, but with the forces and acceleration shown explicitly. Because force and acceleration are vectors, a separate equation of motion is required for each dimension of interest. That is, we know that the equation of motion is F is equal to ma, and F is a vector quantity and the acceleration a is also a vector quantity. Then in 3 dimensions, it must have 3 equations. F is equal to ma can be the equation F is equal to ma can be decomposed into three equations. One corresponding for x direction, then fx is equal to max and fy is equal to may and fz is equal to maz. Okay, so if the force acting on any single direction, or it may be horizontal or vertical, we can choose any axis corresponding for that. We can take x or y as you wish. As the force is a vector quantity, the algebraic sign of each force component must be consistent with the force diagram and with the coordinate system. Okay, that is, if the weight of the body acting downward and it is taken as in the minus y direction or negative y direction, and the normal reaction of the surface, any surface, if we consider that a book is placed on a table, the weight of the book acting downward, okay, and the normal reaction of the table, it is acted on the book, then it is in y direction, it is opposite to the weight. Okay, then the fifth step is write the constraint equations. In many problems, bodies are constrained to move a certain path. A pendulum bob moves in a circle and a block sliding on a tabletop constrained to move in a plane. Each constraint can be described by a geometric equation that is known as constraint equation. In the case of pendulum bob, L is equal to a constant, length equal to a constant. If we fix a plane, xy plane, to the plane of oscillation of pendulum, then we can write L is equal to root of x square plus y square. Then root of x square plus y square is equal to a constant. That is a constraint equation. Furthermore, if two bodies in the same system interact, the forces between them are constrained by Newton's third law to be equal and opposite. That is also a constraint. Then we have to write the constraint equation. And the last step is solve. The equation of motion and the constraint equation should provide enough relation to allow every unknown to be found. If an equation is overlooked, however, there will be too few equations for a solution. This is a signal that you need to look further. This is the case. You have write some equations from the force diagram, and consider we write two equations from the force diagram, and we got one equation from the constraint, but there are four unknowns. To solve four unknowns, we have only three equations connecting the unknowns. So using mathematics, we can't simply solve it. Okay. Then look at the system further in deep. Then construct any other equations connecting the variables. To solve four unknowns, we must have four equations which connecting that variables. We know that the mechanics is subdivided into statics and dynamics. Dynamics is the study of motion due to the applied force, and statics is the analysis of forces on bodies in equilibrium. Okay. Then in the mechanical problems, when we set the acceleration is 0, it will be in equilibrium, or it is go to the category statics, not statistics. Dynamics mean the study of motion due to applied force, and statics is the analysis of forces in equilibrium. Okay. Then in the equations we get when analyzing dynamics, then the dynamical equations, when setting acceleration is 0, then it will go to the category of statics. So we know that for equilibrium, all the forces acting on a system must be equal to 0. So these are the 6 steps to solve systems using Newton's laws. So we consider that particular example, that is 2 blocks A and B resting on a table as in the drawing. Okay. Here 2 blocks A and B, that is placed on a table. So our aim is to solve this particular physical system, that is 2 bodies, 2 blocks A and B, that is placed on a table. And here the direction of gravity and the coordinate axis is shown by arrows. The vertical direction is y-axis and the horizontal is x-axis. And G is acting downward, or it is in y direction. The direction of actual G is minus y direction. Okay. Then we have to, the first step is isolate the masses. Okay. Then I put 2 dots here. And it is, consider it as 2 bodies and take the mass of first body as I write here the mass of the body A. It is corresponding for body A. Then it is MA and it is for the mass MP. Okay. Then this system is divided into two masses. Here we consider two blocks A and B resting on a table. Okay. Then here this point is corresponding for the mass A and this point is corresponding for mass B. Then we know that first, then we have to draw the force diagram. Then look at the what are the forces acting on the two bodies. The first force coming to our mind is the weight of the body. Then I write it as it is W. It is WA and it is WP. It is acting downward. Okay. Then if as A and B in contact, if A acting some force on B, then B will give a reactive force, reaction force to A. Then we consider that a force we consider A acting a force on B, then B must act a force on A. Let it be F1 as the this force must be a straight line. So it is F1 and here also a force that acting in which direction. Look at, we say that A is acting a force on B, then it is acting in downward. Then I draw here a force F2, let it be F2 is acting downward. To oppose that force, B act a force F1 on A, that is in upward direction. Okay, then look at this one. This is the table. Okay, so the block B is placed on the table. As the weight is acting downward, there is a normal reaction acting upward. The table acting a normal reaction on which block? The block B, let it be here. So this is our force diagram. Okay, force diagram for each mass. Here for mass A, there is a force, upward force F1, that is due to B, and WA is the weight acting downward. And here for the mass B, B is the WB is the weight acting downward, and F2 is the force acting B by the body A, and N is the normal force acted on block B by the table. Here the forces are vertical, so we have to consider only the component along y-axis. Okay, we have to only take Fy is equal to m into Ay, where Fy is the force in y directions, effective force on y direction on each body. Okay, and the force diagram shows the weight WA and WB of the blocks directed down, and F1 is the force of block B on block A, while F2 is the force of A on B. And there is a contact force, that is the normal reaction force, that is directed perpendicular to the surface of the table, and it is represented by N. And we have assumed the directions for the forces. Here you may have some doubts. If we have no idea about the direction of a particular force, okay, so you just assume any direction. consider in the case of this normal reaction or something. If you take any particular direction, then when we solving that, if it is correct, you will get the same sign, or if it is an error, you get a negative that indicate that it is in the opposite direction. It is the force diagram for each mass. Then our next step is to write the equations of motion. Then what will be the equation of motion for block A? We know that we have to write the equations of motion as F is equal to, generally we can write F is equal to ma. Okay, here F is the effective force, or it is the algebraic sum of the forces. What is mean by algebraic sum of algebraic sum? It means that we have to consider the direction of forces. Okay, here in the figure for the mass ma, F1 acting upward and WA acting downward. Then if we take WA as positive, then F1 must be negative, or if F1 is positive, WA must be negative. Usually we take the sign according to the coordinate system. We know that it is in vertical direction and we take it is in y-axis. So in upward direction for y it is positive and in the downward it is negative. Okay, then for the block A, the mass is ma and the acceleration is written as aa. Acceleration of A, it only denotes aa, means acceleration of A. And in the left side we have to write the forces. What is the forces? F1 upward and WA downward. Then we have to write F1 minus WA is equal to MA AA. Okay. Then look at the mass B. It is N is upward, then N minus, the force must be N minus F2 acting downward, F2 minus WB is equal to what? Is equal to MB AB. Okay, then the equation of motion for B is N minus F2 minus WB is equal to MB AB. Okay, then these are the equations of motions. Then we have to write the constraint equations. Here we know that F1 is the force acting on B by A, and F2 is the F1 is the force on A by the block B. F1 is the force on A by block B, and F2 is the force on B by block A. Okay, and we consider as the B as the block A applying a force F2 on B, the block B give a reactive force that is F1 to the body A. So according to Newton's third law, F1 must be equal to F2. Here we consider only the magnitude. We know that equal and opposite. Here we consider that, here we write it is in this way as it is magnitude. For vector we use block letters, and to identify it I put it in a bracket. Okay, in between two lines. So it is the modulus of F1 is equal to, or the magnitude of F1 is equal to magnitude of F2. Okay, then it is the constraint equation, and when we place the blocks A and B on a table, we know that the system is in equilibrium. It is not moving. So the quantities AA and AB is equal to 0. So the above equations becomes F1 is equal to F1 minus WA is equal to 0, or we can write F1 is equal to WA. Okay, F1 is equal to WA. And from the second equation, for the second equation, here AB also is equal to 0, and N minus F2 minus WB is equal to 0. And from the second equation, N minus F2 minus WB is equal to 0, or N is equal to WB plus F2. Okay. Then using third law, we know that F1 magnitude is equal to F2 magnitude. Then we can use this constraint equation into the equation N is equal to WB plus F2. Okay. Firstly, we write we know that here we write N is equal to WB plus F2, and for the place of F2 we substitute WB plus F1, and we know that F1 is equal to WA, then WB plus WA. Then we get N is equal to, we get what we get, N is equal to WB plus WA. Okay, then we get the force on the table is the weight of the two blocks. Okay, WB and WA, that is acting on the table, then the table reacts, okay, gives a normal reaction to the block B as N. Here we use this example to illustrate this method. More examples as the application of Newton's law will be discussed in the next sessions. Thank you.